with an opening statement, we'll get started with questions.
Thanks, Ryan. Obviously good to get 2 wins. Rhett Lauder didn't have his best stuff today, but he battled. He made pitches. He located his fastball well. And then Fleming, in the second game, I thought, after the first pitch walk, really after the whole first inning, he was a little shaky in the first inning, but then after that settled down and threw the ball well. So, really pleased with our performance, offensively. Did enough. It wasn't a great offensive day, but obviously with the wind blowing out, we hit some home runs, and it's just good to get 2 victories after a tough loss late last night.
I guess you talked about not doing enough offensively, but you scored 21 runs. Is this the type of day that can give you some momentum going into the last 2 weekends of the season?
Yeah, for sure. Baseball is a momentum sport, and when we're getting production up and down the lineup, certainly that helps. Virginia is not typically a ballpark where you're going to hit a bunch of home runs. It's a big kind of a graveyard type park. So I'm a little worried that we're a little too home run dependent headed into that series. But I do like the fact that, we've had several guys that, have had good weekends and are kind of breathing a little easier.
From a macro level, Tom, what is it that you believe your program needs to do these next 2 weeks to kind of take that next step to give you guys a chance to continue to play some baseball?
Well, 4 at the very minimum, and depending on what Duke does, of course, could be 5, or 6. Again, it's sadly it's out of our control at this point. Duke got a big win against Louisville this past weekend, so we're chasing them. We've played less games than they have, but not by many. So we need to equal Duke in wins, and we're 3 or 4 behind them now. Again, I think 4 wins gives us a chance. 5 wins, a better chance. 6, and it could come down that we might need all 6.
So how do you tell the guy, how do you prepare for that, Tom, when it's like every game is kind of like an elimination game for you at this point?
Yeah, again, you go to your closer a little earlier and you take them one day at a time. We've got to find a way to win Friday at Virginia. Obviously need a great start out of Ryan Cusick to make that happen. And, if we can win on Friday, then, I like our chances. UVA is coming out of final exams. They haven't played, we'll see how they respond coming out of exams. Sometimes for us, one of the reasons we wanted to play today was, I hate taking all that time off and sitting for 10, 11 days without live at-bats. It's tough to come back from that.
It seems interesting that part of it's sort of a strange dichotomy in terms of you want you guys to stay loose and positive and have fun, but at the same time, every game's, vitally important. How do you kind of balance those 2 things?
Well, they know. Again, you don't. There's no reason to try to disguise it or say it any other way than it is. They're looking at the standings and counting the win column the same as we are. So again, we just talk about going out and playing our best baseball. And if we're gonna miss the conference tournament, then let's do it. Going down playing our best baseball.
What can you say about like the last month or so of Bobby Seymour? He's just been completely on fire.
Yeah, he really has. He made an adjustment with his hands. He got his hands higher, and it's really given him a little more loft in his swing. And it's been pretty fun to watch. That home run he hit in the first inning today, man, I thought that was just a really great swing and as good a swing as he's taken all year. So, anytime you see Bob, kind of hitting the ball to left center field, he's going good, and that's kind of where he is right now.
You're starting pitching today. What did you think of those guys?
Yeah, happy. Again, Rhett didn't have his best stuff. He kind of came to us before the game and said he didn't feel great. He didn't feel like he had his good fastball, but he pitched. He made pitches. He was down in the zone. He pitched, threw his changeup when he was behind in the count. He did just enough to keep them off balance. And, I like throwing Rhett first and then Will, because it's such a, I think if you throw Rhett after Will, it's tougher on Rhett than it needs to be.
Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it. Best of luck in the coming weekends.
Thanks, Les. Appreciate you being on.
Miss you guys.
Miss you too.
All right, Les, I got Cole here for you.
Les, it's taken 4 years for us to have an official interview. I'm excited.
I knew you'd say something like that, Cole.
I know.